Today we take a look at the Kessler Shuttle Dolly. How you move your camera should be entirely dependent on your story, but in the world of low, no budget filmmaking, it can often be determined by resources, usually meaning going handheld for the sake of time and the lack of budget in getting something like a Fisher Dolly. And that's where sliders and the like have come in a big way to help bring that aesthetic to a lower budget market. But even sliders have been very limiting for me. The way I like to shoot and the type of cameras I'm often shooting with have kept sliders from being an option more often than not. But now I have this delightful pile of sexual healing. This is the Kessler Shuttle Dolly. It's like a dolly and a slider eloped and had a lovely baby. It's made up of the carriage here, which as you can see has a ton of mounting points for whatever you need on it. It also has an aluminum build and can hold up to 125 pounds. Then we have our wheels and the end clamps and our junior pin adapter. To set this guy up, we're going to throw our wheels onto the bottom of the carriage here like so, and then use our end clamps to attach our rails, which you can of course use speed rails, which are these metal pipes that you can get from any hardware store, including Lowe's or Home Depot. The Shuttle Dolly can be used on speed rails of any diameter between 1¼ inches to 2 inches. So you just slip the end clamps onto the speed rails like so, one on either side, and there you have it. You can now mount your carriage and slide away, but better than a regular speed rail setup, you can now get these Kwik Rails from Kessler Crane. These are machine threaded speed rails that can be configured into variable lengths. So you have two options of base lengths, either a 2-foot rail or 4-foot rails, and you can thread them together to get as long of a run as you'd like. You can keep adding rails until you circle the earth if you wanted. You also get these thread protectors here, so if you have an open end, you can toss these thread protectors on to keep those connections from getting damaged. But now with our system set up, we'll throw on a 100mm bowl so we can attach our head and then our camera, and we're done. Of course, as you can see, the end clamps are made to be set on the ground, but there are plenty of mounting options. One easy and quick way to change your height is with Apple boxes. We did this a lot while shooting Ghost House. With an Apple box, you have 3 heights you could choose from as well, like we showed in a recent episode, LA, Chicago, and New York. So it was a very simple way to get the level that we needed quickly. But we also have these adapters that come with the kit. I use these with some combo stands. You just screw the adapter onto the bottom end of each clamp and then drop that into combo stands on either side. And if you have the Kwik Rails, you can get the adjustable feet for them and throw that on the bottom of the rail, then use these brackets to mount the rails as legs onto your main rails like so. What's great about this is that you're getting more stability since you're getting strong points on either side of the rails instead of just in the middle of the clamp. So this is a great way to make sure you aren't getting any swaying during your move. And you can adjust your height just by moving up and down the rails turned legs. What's great about using these rails as legs is the portability, since it's a lot easier to break these down and travel with instead of bringing big heavy stands. But now it's all built and ready to go, so we're going to take a quick break and then see what sort of images we can get out of this guy. If you're a budding filmmaker, entrepreneur, or innovator, domain.com is the place to go when the next idea punches you directly in the mouth. I know you've heard me say that the list of available domain extensions is growing, but you now have the opportunity to name your site and build your brands in ways that was never before possible. You can choose from a growing list of 400+ domain name extensions like .com, .org, .design, and .club. And to give you some love, they're giving you 25% off their already affordable prices when you get domain names, web hosting, and email. Just use the coupon code FilmRiot at checkout, and when you think domain names, think domain.com. Logo. I've said it a few times in our other episodes, but around 80% of Ghost House was shot using the Shuttle Dolly. I wanted slow, smooth movements for this film to help build the feel that I wanted, oftentimes with longer runs than a slider could ever do. But we are on a low budget, which means something like a Fisher Dolly or anything similar wasn't happening, so the Shuttle Dolly really came to the rescue there. But beyond that price advantage, what was great about using something like this instead of a big, heavy, traditional dolly is setup time. We were able to move a lot faster with this setup thanks to how simple and light it is. We're also able to get into much tighter spaces because of its small footprint, like our shots in the upstairs hallway. So we got those same smooth, long movements that I wanted, but without the delay in production or production difficulties. We're also able to pair the system with a small jib arm to get shots that we wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. And I totally stole this idea from my friend Joe Simon after seeing him use it on one of his films, which you can find a link for that video in the notes below. But with the jib on the Shuttle Dolly, we were able to get more creative with our shot and accomplish what we felt worked best for the tone of that scene. So again, we have this incredibly sturdy carriage and all kinds of mounting points and handles for easy carry, a great wheel system, and the ability to set it up on cheaper speed rails from any hardware store or by grabbing the Kwik Rails from Kessler. Either way, this really is my current favorite piece of gear for getting dolly type shots. Link for everything can be found in the notes below. That is it, which means it's time for my suggestion of the week. This one is a short film from our friends over at Hit Film. They made their own Rogue One fan film, and it's a lot of fun, so definitely check that out. And until next week, don't forget to write, shoot, edit, repeat.